Alright. Okay, looking good. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Ewok Templar, Diablo 4. How y'all doing today? Hope you all doing well. Saturday. But Saturn's Day. Now, was that that's the Roman version, right? Because the Greeks, they called them... No, wait, no, sorry. Who is Saturn? Who did Saturn become? Because I started thinking about Jupiter, but that's the same group of guys. The ones named the planets. Planets, it was the Greeks. It's the Roman ones I always forget and I don't remember. They're the ones that took the Greek gods and said, you know what, we'll just take their gods and give them different names. Sorry. Hopefully y'all are having a good day. We're back with Alicia. As you know, she's got this weird elementalist build where I grabbed everything that gave her more vulnerability damage. You can see we got up to 1,000%. She has a 94%. I thought she had a 100% chance to make things vulnerable. But I moved things around to try and give her a more lucky hit chance. I thought I had this to 100%, but it's 94%. But that's good. And then once lucky hit goes off, then the vulnerability hit goes off, and that's 100%. So 1 out of 25 of our hits will not lucky hit. So that's a pretty good percentage. That's most of the time it's going off. It's fine. This time I did things a little bit different. I want to try things out, so I unequipped Vox Omnia. So we're not doing the elemental shotgun anymore. Although honestly, it was fun, but at the same time I feel like I was missing something, and it felt like I was always off keter with it. Like it just wasn't hitting just right. So now, move things around. Got me this legendary staff. Put Incinerate split on it. So like now I'm getting the split beams with Incinerate, but it's actually doing more damage rather than taking away. So that's awesome. And let's just get into it. Just have a good time. Kill some demons. You know, I was thinking about the other day. Who was it in Eminem's family that released an album? Was it his mom that tried to diss him? I was thinking about the other day. I never heard it. I don't know what it was called, but someone in his family, this was a while ago, they made an album in response to him being like, you know, because of all his songs of, I had family problems. Damn. And I was just thinking the other day, and the only reason I bring it up is because I was thinking, can't wait for one of these female rappers to grow older, have kids, and those kids grow up and get careers. And I was thinking, what if one of them was a dirtbag? What if they had a kid that was a dirtbag? And would you, like, this could apply to anyone. What if you had to release a diss track for your own child? What if you had to... What if you got called onto a feature? You gotta do a feature with your songs. Hold on, is my volume coming through? I see it there. Why does it sound so quiet? I could have swore I changed this already. Did I not change this already? I guess I didn't. My bad, everyone. I was like, why does my fire sound like a whisper? I'm whispering secrets of flame secrets. I'm on the journey to Ninx with the other fairies. With my little secret fire. Sorry. The thing I was thinking of, man, that'd be such a trip. To be like a straight up dog, straight up gangster, a gangster rapper. And you're so up in yourself that your mom has to show up and diss you I think that'd be amazing. Want to hear that song. How do you respond to that? What would it, like... Could you imagine? Just the guy talking mad stuff about you. And then he just has to pause for, well, wait a minute, but don't ask me. Let's ask your mom. And now all of a sudden your mom's on the track. Talk about how you ain't nothing without her. She changed her diapers. And look at you. Acting like a damn fool. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for that album. I hope that it happens. Granted, I actually, like, it's a mixed bag. I kind of want to hear it, but at the same time, I want everyone who has a family to actually have a good relationship. You know, at the same time, I was like, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope all the female rappers out there have children that turn out to be just as talented and blessed and, what's the word I'm looking for? Gracious, thankful for everything they have. None of them turn out to be D-bags. But if they do, I'm gonna want to hear that response. I want to hear that track. I want to hear Mom's opinion about D-bag Williams. I just made that up there. Hopefully if there's a guy named D-bag Williams, sorry, I didn't know you exist. No relation. That was the name. I was trying to make a name up. But these days, you don't know who. You can just say a name and you accidentally are offending someone because that's their name. There's so many guys out there now that are in the game. You could say Pookie 3Dix, and then before you know it, there's a guy in Memphis who's mad at you because you didn't know Pookie 3Dix was a guy. It's tough out there. It's tough out there making up names because someone's probably already made it up, especially in the rap industry. James Goodcheese. You don't know. He could be out there. You look up on the internet right now, there he is holding up a big wheel of provolone. Gotta get those domain names, gotta get them fast. Before. Lock your name in, gentlemen. Lock your name in, ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna go out there into the industry. Get that name settled. Also, what do you have to do to get, like, the subtitle, like the preface title, you know what I mean? Like, little or young. Do you have to be young or little? And sometimes rich. Rich is one that's not used as often, but more than one guy has been rich something. I'm surprised there's not a guy out there called Little Young Rich. Just be all the prefaces. Don't actually have a name. Just have all the subtitles. Little OG Rich Young. I think I already did this before, actually, now that I think about it. I forgot. And freaking Fallout 3. And then for a little while in Fallout 4, but it didn't turn out right, so I got rid of them. But I had that my evil character was Dr. Professor Scientist. He was just titles. Dr. Professor Scientist. Is it first name Professor? Or Scientist is like the European thing, like, or the Asian thing where like the surname comes before. I don't know. I always call him just Dr. Professor Scientist. I don't know what his real name is. He could be Dr. Scientist Professor for all I know. I left that open to interpretation on purpose. I didn't want to lock him down too hard. Hold on, I'm gonna move this mic. I know I moved it to be more, yeah, right there, it's better. Closer to me actually works out better. It was in my eye line. That was the thing. I wanted to see the entire screen. I don't mind it being in front of me. I just want to be able to see Diablo without having this weird amorphous object throwing off my depth perception. Me thinking, wow, my health bar looks weird. I don't remember it being a giant black blur shaped like death, slowly edging towards me to deliver the final blow. That's interesting. And then I look, and oh, it's my pop filter. It's not death coming to hammer my face in with its large black cudgel of judgment. It's a microphone. I escalated that a little bit. I saw it and my mind went to someplace extreme, but you know, that's what my mind does sometimes. Microphones, am I right? Streaming. MLG. Probably spelled like I'm subscribed. I finally had a weird dream that I remembered very vividly. It was super weird. One of the weirdest dreams I ever had. This was just last night. It was like I was in a video game. It was like a co-op video game about making movies. That's the best way I could describe it. Because, alright. None of it made sense. If anything, it was just an insane dream that my brain tried to logically conclude what the idea was, and it fell down onto this is a movie video game. That's like this is what dreams may come, but with guns, like. Because I can't even tell you, like, the cohesion just wasn't there. Whoever was in charge of editing needed to be fired, because things just started happening. It was like Inception, but no one was there to explain why it was happening. Things just happened because, you know, it's Thursday, whatever. Like, oh, you had a sandwich. Now the Raptors can speak Japanese, you know, just because. Things just started happening. But I remember I was on a bridge. There was an oil rig in the distance, it exploded. And from that explosion, somehow a helicopter survived. I don't know why the oil rig exploded. I just remember I was on the bridge and I was waiting. I was like, oh man, what's gonna happen? I had a rifle, some sort of M4 carbine type rifle. And this helicopter came. And it was just like a regular helicopter, the guy hanging out the side, very GTA style, shooting at me. Very similar situation to like the movie True Lies, where I'm just sort of out there, and there's a helicopter with a guy out, hanging out, just trying to shoot me, give me the business. And I start shooting back, and I'm like, this feels wrong. Like, it's flying so low and close. This feels unrealistic. Like, that's the thing I was harping on. Was the whole situation involved. It's like, is this the boss fight? Does that pilot know that this is a cable bridge? Like, they're getting kind of close. Then I was thinking, oh man, when am I gonna have to reload? I don't even know. It's in the gun's in my hands and I can't tell. I don't have the readout, you know? I'm so used to having the HUD. Now I have the rifle in my hand and I'm just shooting, going, well. I also didn't help that it was a dream, and I didn't know this at the time, but because I just noticed it, but I didn't put two and two together, it's because I'm dreaming. But it felt like I was moving through gel. You know what I mean? Like I was moving quickly, but like I would aim at the helicopter and I'd go, ah, and I'd shoot at it, and I'd be like aiming for the guy shooting at me, but I'd be hitting the back of it, like the tail of the helicopter, and I'd be like, oh, I just gotta aim a little bit more forward. And I was like, I wanted to, but at the same time I was like my turning speed was turned all the way down to 1 or something, you know? Anywho, helicopter flew off. It turned into a Cadillac somehow, started driving away. Don't ask me how that happened. It just decided. It said, you know what? I don't feel like being a helicopter anymore. I'm a Cadillac now. And instead of having 2 guys in it, it went down to 1 guy. And it was just driving away from me. And the bridge turned into a dirt road. And I was like, ah, see, this is that accelerationism I was talking about earlier. By the way, I was like 16 million away from when we started. Hopefully we get it, because I'm getting kind of distracted now. I noticed I'm starting to slow down and just talk about the dream rather than actually slay the demons. I need to get it together. I have a lot of vulnerability happening. A lot of vulnerability damage. I'm supposed to be doing my elementalist thing. And it's very easy to get off, because literally I just attack and ice and lightning are happening all the time. And then I just need to tap flamethrower every now and then, or a fireball, or drop the blizzard, and it goes off. There it is, elemental. Oh, and they're dead. And they're dead. He's dead. So much for the Sheogorath of Notre Dame, whatever that thing's called. He died. But anywho, all right. So I go, oh man, I gotta chase down this Cadillac. That guy's getting away. And then I think to myself, wasn't it 2 guys? I was like, you know what? Whatever it was, wherever this universe was, I was like, you know what? We're still working out the kinks. It was like I was on a team, and we were all just working on it together because I knew what was gonna happen. But it was also confusing and convoluted. But anyway, I found this VW bug. It was yellow, it was rusted, but it ran. So I started driving it. And as I'm driving it, all of a sudden, like, I'm going down this dirt road, it's by a creek, like there's a creek to the left, and it's downhill from where the road is, then to the right, the hill continues to go up, and it's like in a deciduous forest. So you got pine trees. There's a couple of coniferous trees, but there are only a few close to the road. But as I'm going down the dirt road, suddenly, for absolutely no reason, I'm no longer driving the VW Bug. Okay? Because it's turned into a toy car, and now I'm running next to it, pushing it down the dirt road. But it's okay, because while I'm doing this for no apparent reason, I've also become massive. It's like the car didn't become smaller and become the size of a toy car. No. I just got huge. The dirt road, the forest, and the car, all of that stayed the same size. But I got massive, but since I was too big to stay inside the vehicle, I had to start pushing it down the road, but I was pushing it down like it was a toy car, so I have like one hand on it. The door is open, and I'm like, my left hand is like guiding it by like pushing the open door and the wheel at the same time. Like I'm double handing it, like I'm pushing with my right, steering, and also trying not to break the door with my left. And I'm kneeling down a lot, because I'm like hunched forward. Like I'm basically like fast walking, but with my knees to my face, you know what I mean? Like I'm down there doing the weird little and this is when I think, you know what, this isn't right. As I'm going down the road, I'm like, it'd be way faster if I just leave the car. But then I was scared that I was like, well, but I can't just leave the car, because what if I accidentally return to normal size? Then I'll be running down the road. You feel me? It was a conundrum, so I just kept on walking this car down the dirt road. I was running it down the road, actually. We were still going the same speed. I had become so large that maintaining the same speed was not difficult. The Cadillac up ahead, I still had eyes on it. It turns left onto a bridge that goes over the creek. Strangely enough, it leads to a parking lot in front of what appears to be like a concrete factory. So I go, okay, alright, whatever. And in that split second, as I'm following and as I'm about to turn, like almost instantly, do I return to normal size and I'm driving the car again? And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, I hope there's parking. And I don't think about that till later. I was like, yeah, that's the thought to have. Yeah. Not the fact that you just grew into a giant, the car became toy car sized, and you were running alongside it while pushing it to drive it, and then you returned to normal size and you went back to driving. Now that you're turning down this bridge to cross to get to this concrete factory, now it's time to be like, man, the whole changing sizes randomly in the forest was a trip, but I would really be bummed out if this killer, this guy with this gun who I'm chasing, if he gets the last parking spot, I'm gonna be bummed out. So I don't know where my priorities were in the dream. Like I said, I don't think wasn't, even though it felt real, for some reason, me in the situation, I wasn't taking it too seriously. Even though I had a gun, he had a gun, I was chasing him for some sort of grand finale moment. Some sort of climax was happening. But at the same time, if there's nowhere to park, I had this weird feeling that I might just turn around and go home instead of figuring it out.
Never seen anyone fight like you.
I was about to say, if there was no parking spot, I was gonna be like, man, this stuff is raw. This is raw. We need to take this all back to the drawing board and work on it more. Because I was at that weird point. I was like, I had a gun in my hand. I was driving a yellow VW Bug that had a little bit of rust on it. Could have been better maintained, but frankly, to be fair, I got it for free on a bridge after fighting a helicopter, so it is what it is. Alright, so I pull into the parking lot. There's plenty of parking spaces. I don't know why I was worried, because no one was there, just him. He pulled in, he got out, but strangely enough, I think he forgot why he was driving there. Because he got out slowly and started looking around. Like, is this the spot? Like, he was confused too. Like, I want to say, when I was on the bridge, I was confused, but then after the forest and everything changing sizes, I got to the point where I wasn't confused, I just didn't care anymore. I was just like, alright, let's get this over with. Like, that's the feeling I was carrying, was whatever, you know, Mondays, who knows. Let's just get in there and get this over with. So, I don't know how, but at some point, the entire time I've kept the idea that I've had this gun with me, right? I have a gun. It was a carbine, like rifle, like either an M16 or an M4. Did not have time to actually analyze it and look at it, like, cohesively. I just know that it has, like, that classic American shape to it, that classic American carbine shape. I did not actually look at it to be like, oh, but which variety is it? Oh my god. No. Didn't gather that at all. But, at the same time, at some point during this entire journey, this entire drive, when the bridge turned into a dirt road, I'm driving the Bug, I get huge, and I turn back to regular size. At some point, without me noticing, the rifle had turned into a pistol. Alright? Don't know why, but it did. Didn't care, though. Me, inside the dream, at that point, I didn't care. I was like, alright, this is my gun. Didn't matter that it changed into a different gun. It's still my gun. It's gonna work just fine. It will still gun. So I walk up to the guy of the Cadillac. He's there. He's confused. I don't think he expected the concrete factory to be there or whatever. Maybe he thought the road was gonna continue. Whatever we were working on together, it needed a lot of work. Everything, it was very raw. It was all over the place. No one knew what they were supposed to be doing. It felt like someone was recording it, but it really felt like a test run, whatever it was. So I get out of the car, I aim my gun at him, I'm like, hey! Stop right there, criminal scum. He has a gun, he points it at me. And he's like, well, well, well. And he's like, he takes it, after he points the gun at me, he says that. In his other hand, he takes out a knife. And he's like, looks like I have the advantage because I just have a gun. Well, he has a gun and a knife. I don't know why he thought that's an advantage in the situation, but he did. But at the same time, as soon as he did that, I said back to him, well, well, well. And in my other hand, I pulled out a sawed-off shotgun. And then I shot him with it without saying anything else. And he had no reaction to this. Instead, he got confused. He was like, wait a minute. But I have a knife. That's what he said to me. That's what he said. After I held him up with a gun, he pulled out a gun and it was like, ha, well, well, well. Then he pulled out a knife. I said, well, well, well. Pulled out a sawed-off shotgun, shot him with it, both barrels. And it hit him, but nothing came out. It was very video game-like, because like there wasn't even blood. He just got hit by it, and he was like, wait, but I have a knife. And I was like, sawed-off shotgun. I think that trumps the knife, man. Like, we were completely ignoring that both of our main hands already had pistols in them. No, just didn't care. Those were just there for posturing. We were aiming at each other. We're on equal ground with the pistols. That's why we had to ante up. It was like we were playing war. It was like we were playing the card game War. We were like we played the same card, so it canceled each other out, and we both had to draw again. It was very weird. But he was confused because after I shot him with a shotgun, he was like, "Wait a minute." Like, he didn't say this, but he had the reaction of, no one told me you had a shotgun. And I was like, I didn't even know I had it. But honestly, you're taking this all in stride, being shot by both barrels. I'll be honest with you. You just sort of got shot by them, and then no reaction. He was more disappointed than defeated. He was like, hey, wait a minute. I thought this was going to be different. So then I got confused too, because after I hit him with it and nothing happened, I was like, oh, are we going for an alternate ending? And then that made him even more confused. Because he was like, alternate ending, and I was like, well, I thought, because like now I'm trying to work with him. Now I'm looking at him and going, well, you whipped out the knife, and I guess you didn't know or forgot that I had the sawed-off shotgun, and you thought you would just slash me with the knife, and I'd be like, blah, and you know, I'd die. And then I'd get the bad ending. But I shot you with the shotgun because you did the weird, because we already had the pistols out, and I thought that was weird. And then you pointed the knife at me, and you're like, well, 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 so then I shot you with my shotgun. Because I was going for the unique ending, where I shoot you with the second gun for some reason. And he was confused. He was like, what? When did this happen? And I was like, well, I got taken back. I got taken back. And I said to him, well, what ending do you want to do? And then he was like, he was just flustered at that point. Oddly enough, this is where the dream ends. There's no positive or good conclusion to it. I still have no idea what that was about. They say, like, dreams are windows to the mind. Can someone tell me what any of that meant? Any inkling?
I think we have a chance.
No one, all of you don't have to answer at once. It's fine. You know, take your time. Break it down. It is what it is. You know. Still though, very bold of him to be two men in a helicopter and then just decide to be a single man in a Cadillac. I didn't even bring that up. Oh, we're 282 now. Yay. We did it. We're so cool. We're so MLG. Dang, my music paused. That's why things felt weird now. Like, literally, my music just paused as I ended the dream story. It felt like... I felt like we were about to sequence into something else. I was like, what, do I have a second story? Hold on, do it. I felt broken up. I felt like the pacing went off right there. I haven't had a dream like that in a long time. To where it just felt like a movie that was very vivid and had random things happening all the time. I used to have those dreams like that all the time. And I don't know why I like dream stories. A lot of people don't, especially men. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I used to have crazy dreams when I was a kid. And I liked telling people about them. I'll tell my mom about them, because she would have crazy dreams too. But now I feel bad because I can't remember any of the ones she told me about. I remember all of mine.
It's locked.
Some banana sandwich stuff happened in mine. Wait, where's the key? Who was taking the key? Speaking of true lies. As soon as I hear that, who was taking the key? And the guy lowers the camera. He's like, what are you doing? Low battery? I think I got more in the car. That was a good line too. I think about the Arnie line the most, especially when I'm playing games with the boys. We find something we don't know what it is. What is this? I'm like, I'll tell you what it is. It's a snow cone machine. And they look at him. It's a water heater. That was a good line. Good times. Good times. You know, I was thinking about that person who showed up yesterday. Well, not yesterday, but the last time. Because last time we had the person showed up, started treating this like this was some sort of weird interview. That was confusing. But then remember last time we streamed, a different lady showed up, and it had to be a scammer. Like, thinking about it now, it's one of those things where for some reason, when it's happening, I'm not thinking about it. I don't have a thought in the world. It's a whatever. But this time they showed up, and I don't know. To me, like, ladies, you can't just. There's like precautions you have to take. And this is why I thought it was fake, because like what woman shows up randomly on Twitch or in chat anywhere with their name as their email as their username? Like, just walking into any internet forum and announcing to them that you're a woman, I feel like is just you're not asking for problems. No. But the butt clowns of the world, of all ages, by the way, there's a plethora of these flaming jackwagons. But how do you not see that as just you basically having an open invitation to receiving a bunch of Google Wiener images? Like, I would take that, like, I feel like as if you had a parent that cared about you and you were a lady, you'd get some precautions. Now, before you get on the internet, there's a sea of wieners that will assault you because a lot of people on there take the anonymity as a flaming jackwagon license for some reason. And so you showing up and just being a woman, like, you gotta pick something more neutral. Either pretend to be a man or pick something gender neutral. Because if you show up and everyone knows that you're a lady, I feel like either you're the one who's actually has the channel or the page and you're posting you, or if you're not, if you're just a witness there in the background, you're just asking for trouble. Because any lady who's on the internet right now, they can tell you that, like, they probably get a lot of unsolicited nonsense, just wild, outlandish insanity. And for you to show up, like, that's why I said it had to be a dude just setting up a terrible trap for morons. Because I don't know any woman worth her weight in woman salt would not be walking into any internet anywhere announcing that they're a woman unless it was a space made for women. Like, you wouldn't walk in anywhere. Here, with all these young men and their insanity? Are you kidding me? It's like the Wild Wild West. The wieners would be flung. It's not even theirs. They'd have a folder. They probably have folders of wieners to launch. I feel like... No, that's why it had to be fake. Either that or they're morons. Can't just walk in here and be like, "Hi, I'm a girl. This is my first time on the internet." Like, what? Do your parents not love you? What the hell happened? Your username should not give away any of that. Your username should be soup1234. And what really bothered me, what annoyed me super fast, was how overly formal they were being. Like, there's a certain formality that just shows you're being nice, and that's fine. Like, yeah, you say hi, I say hi. But then you went into this weird, then she asked, that what really threw me off and really bothered me and drove me crazy, was that whoever this person was asked me, they said, "Do you mind if I ask you a question?" Like, I am streaming to either one person or no one. Like, that's my audience. Like, 99% of the time, it's either a single person or zero. So they show up as person number 2 or the only person, and they treat me like I'm freaking Google or something, or like I'm an AI assistant there to help. That's when I know they're like, "All right, you're not a real person. You're a flaming jackwagon trying to get something out of me." Excuse me, sorry. That's why I immediately was like, no. First of all, if you are real, that's insane. You came into a chat, you have a question, you just ask the question. You don't take the time to stop and ask permission to ask a question. You don't ask a question about asking questions. No one does that. That's insane. That is weird. That is something you do on instant messenger with someone you actually know you're talking to. That's something you say to someone you actually know, because you're about to ask them a question that's like, you know? That's when I was like, this is not a real person at all. This is a man doing a terrible impression of a woman trying to get me to buy AI art on Discord again for some reason. Even though I've never done that before. And it's weird how all of a sudden you start streaming on Twitch, dudes just wiggle out of the background all of a sudden. Look at this guy. He's streaming to one person. You know what he wants to buy? AI art. Like, when did that happen? Wait, how do those things coincide? How do I a proxy to that? How do I a proxy to that audience? Wait a minute. Like, wait, I'm streaming on Twitch to maybe one singular audience member, and that automatically means this guy buys AI art. I don't know how what mental gymnastics led you down to that. How did you think that I am the target demographic for that financial situation? In what bizarro universe? He's streaming. He's streaming basically to himself. You know what he wants to buy? AI art. Let's get him on Discord to talk to him about buying on my art. When? How? What? I think I would more likely be interested in buying freshly squeezed orange juice from a stranger on the internet, randomly, than AI art. Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? What about, you see Ewok Templar playing Diablo 4, they go, now here's a man who buys a lot of AI art. This guy loves NFTs, I can tell. Look at him. Look at him with his little teddy bear with googly eyes. If that's not a sign of a sucker who buys AI art. There's no way he could have made that on Canva. No. He'd have to make a circle that's white, then make a tinier black circle, and put it in off-keter from the center in that white circle. You'd have to put them together. You think this guy can put two circles together? No, he bought that Ewok. There's no way. He doesn't know what Canva is. It's a mystery to him. You tell him about paint.net, he says that's blasphemy. That's made up stuff. That's lies told to you by fake news government. There is no paint.net. It's all a mass hysteria illusion caused by swamp gases and light beer. Okay, but still. Ladies, listen. There's no reason for you to let random dudes on the internet know that you're a woman. Ever. Alright? It's too dangerous. If you're looking for men, they have websites for that. eHarmony and blah blah blah, whatever the other ones are called. If you're on the internet, just sort of walking around enjoying yourself, you can't, it's unfortunate, but there's just a lot of junk men out there, boys and men. It's crazy how wide the age area is. The area of scrimmage when it comes to men behaving like jackwagons on the internet is astounding. It's like, as soon as they go learn how to type, all the way to he's on an oxygen machine dying right now. And he is still typing, hey lady, what's going on? Want to see my collection of wieners? It's very surprising. But yeah, you can't just be announcing you're a woman unless you're in a woman's space. Anywhere else where it's mixed gender, no. Bring a gun. A shovel. Don't bring a bucket and a mop. Bring a gun and a shovel. Okay? Unless you're there to sell, you're not gonna like what you find. The smarter ones know what I'm talking about. You're either there to sell, or if you're not there to sell, they don't need to know not a damn thing.
They're here! Get ready! The only way out of this is to fight.
Not a damn thing. Your username should be Shovel Boy, and your picture should be the picture of a bar of soap. You know, just make your that'd be an interesting take. I would love it. Women, you want to defend yourselves from men on the internet, you gotta change your user picture to something they're afraid of. Change it to a bar of soap, or a picture of deodorant, a bathtub full of warm water and bubbles. Anything to make the men see the image and go, ah! I can't send that wiener pics, that's the government. Change your username to the FBI knows you smell. I get a lot less wiener pictures, to be honest with you.
Take this, my friend. It's not much, but I hope it helps.
Yeah, that's how I knew that was fake. Either that, or somehow through the nexus of the universe, I ran into some lady who it was their first time on the internet ever, and hopefully they got the gist of it. Because I was annoyed because of what I saw. Because there's no way. There's just no way. That's impossible. That's insane. You just walk in, target painted on your chest. Hi, I'm new in town. I'm glad that they stopped and they left. After they asked me, may I ask you a question? And I was like, no. If you have to stop and ask a question to ask a question, that means you're gonna ask a question that has nothing to do with what's happening right now. That means there's a 99% probability that the question you're about to ask me has nothing to do with Diablo, nothing to do with Blizzard, nothing to do with my build, nothing to do with Twitch, nothing to do with YouTube, nothing to do with any of those things. It's gonna be a weird, out of left field question. Just like the lady from the other day, which was probably the same person, lying about who they were, trying to sell me AI art, probably. Talking about, where do you work? I work at a cafe. Like, what is this? What is this? Wait a minute. You saw Ewok Temple I was playing Diablo 4 and you went, I need to ask this guy his life story. I need to know where he works and why him and this wolf man are doing so much poison damage. I need to break him down. I need to get him in there. And I need to shake him loose. Shake his pockets loose, see what falls out. What coins and buttons fall out. Oh yeah, this the flamethrower, the Incinerate high vulnerable flamethrower works better than my Madara all pyromancy build for some reason. I might have to change him up. I might have to go just for all vulnerability with him too. Because I feel like all vulnerability plus fire works better than just going all fire for some reason. You go all pyro damage, and for some reason the Incinerate still feels weak, and then you have to put like you have to dedicate like 4 different burning aspects just to get Incinerate to feel as good as this Incinerate does. It's kind of weird how going for all vulnerable damage makes a better flamethrower than just building a regular pyromancy build. Super weird. Where am I going? The Howling Mines! Amunsul, is that you? Are you here now? Right, explode, burn and explode. Stay away from this crazy snake man. Oh yeah, at some point we reached 12 billion. We're already at 12.5 billion now. Gold. And, you know, I think I'm actually getting more gold during the Lunar Festival, just grinding, than I did during the last Goblin Festival. Isn't that weird?
Wouldn't have made it without you.
And I know what it is. It's because the Goblin Festival had a lot of goblins, but the Lunar Festival had a lot of the greed shrines with the goblin bonus attached to it. And I don't think the last Goblin Festival did that. I think there was just extra goblins everywhere. I think the greed shrine definitely did that, but I felt like you got way more oval goblins during that festival than you did gilded ones.
Wouldn't have made it without you.
I just think it's unlikely. super unlikely. I think it's hyper unrealistic, dumb on its face to be like, it's my first time on the internet. You know what I'm gonna do? Go to Twitch, scroll all the way to the bottom, click on whoever's there, not knowing what game they're playing or who they are, and just ask them to guide me through the internet. Like, that's just, what? You've tried every single other avenue? There was no friend, there was no person in your life, no family member, no teacher, no coworker. You're gonna be like, hey, this is gonna be insane. I'm not saying it's impossible, okay? What did the Amish have? Rushspringer? Rushsprunga? I don't know how to say it. You're telling me an Amish girl showed up and some bloke was like, hey, have you seen the Twitch? I don't know why he has that accent. You should get on the Twitch. They will teach you how to internet. Apparently the only person she met while doing her Rushspringer was a raving lunatic. Get on there. They help you. They can teach you how to order Cheerios on the Amazon. That guy's weird. Stay away from that guy. I don't like that guy. He has the folder full of wieners, I can tell. I've won. The wolves have been slain for now. Their hunger and tenacity has been satiated. Let's continue. Let's move on. Honestly, it was asinine. Asinine to think that not once, but twice, with her name as her email address and her username, like an insane person. Even from a scammer's point of view, you must be looking for some dumb guys, like complete morons. Like, I know I'm retarded, but I'm not like a complete idiot. I might do and say some moronish things. And I might be... I don't know how to describe it. I wouldn't say I'm a few cards short of a deck. I would say that for some reason I have extra cards in places where cards shouldn't be. Like, I have a full deck of cards, but there's like 5 extra jokers in there that pop up randomly. That'd be a better way to describe what's wrong with me. As far as analogies go. Hello. Anyway, what do you guys think? Am I wrong? Am I off Keter? Am I off base? Is my line of reasoning just old man talk? Is that am I out of touch with the youths? Was I wrong about the word Dopenstein making a comeback and becoming part of everyone's lexicon? You all let me know. But until then, I'm gonna be running Elementalist vibes right here. Only after all of this, it took me all of this crazy building for this one to actually dole out damage, very similar to my other builds. And it's still not doling out the same amount of damage as they are, but I think it'll still work even on harder difficulties because it's got like a build-up effect to it, to where if I could just keep them, if I just have them in the blizzards, if I just dump a bunch of blizzards and then hit them with the flamethrower, the damage over the time will just become ridiculous and will melt them. And then Elementalist will go off and I'll get my damage bonuses. Like, honestly, this build is not as effective as other builds, but I like it. I'm honestly thinking about changing Madra to where he actually has the vulnerability build instead of the all fire, because I feel like he could still be doing all fire, but if he's just making everything vulnerable instantly, he'd actually be doing more damage altogether. Because right now, I'll show him after this, once we get our hour put in. Once our XP thing runs out, which should be here in a little bit. Stick, stack, stuck. I did go back to having Fireball as the secondary enchantment to the Ice Orb. Just because I know I was doing Cackling Energy, but then I noticed like it was slowly just becoming Decima's build. That was the thing I was trying to avoid. It was becoming Decima's build, but instead of but it just had like Incinerate additionally on it instead of not. It was like, that's the thing it was moving towards slowly. It was like it was going to be the Cackling Energy build, but with Incinerate and Ice Orb for some reason. So that's why like I changed it back to the original build of Fireball and Ice Orb. Which is funny because the only reason I got inspired by the idea to make this build was because I was looking up decent and fun conjuration builds. And it wasn't to copy it exactly, it was to look at their Paragon boards that they chose. That was the problem I was having to do. That was the thing I was going to copy because there's only so many Paragon boards, so it's like similar builds will use similar boards. You're using all three elements, you're probably going to grab these sort of thing. I ended up going this direction because I noticed, you know what? If I just make everything vulnerable and then do the vulnerable damage, that'll be even. Because now it doesn't matter what element I'm doing because all of them are getting boosted by vulnerability damage. Fire does more, cold does more, lightning does more. Because now instead of stacking just the one damage by itself, instead of just stacking fire damage, cold damage, or lightning damage, instead of trying to stack all three at the same time, you just stack vulnerable. It's a lot easier to do. Now you're doing all three elements, and all their damages are getting boosted at the same time. I mean, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. But now, honestly, after experimenting with it, I'm like, huh. That's way easier and better numbers than I was getting going all pyromancy. Because the problem with pyromancy is that it wants to do critical damage, but the way it does critical chance is weird. It's not as easy as lightning. Like, you increase it the normal way, and I could do the boot trick where you like, well, I'm doing with Decima, we have what are they called? Isu's heirloom, the boots, and then you put the enchantment for as long as you don't cast a defensive skill, you get like 90% movement speed. That will get your critical chance to 100%, but I didn't want to do that with Moderate because I wanted to keep the big teleport, the big cooldown on teleport. I want to keep that available. I think we barely have enough time to try and do one mode. Uno mas. Let's go. See if I can squeeze this in.
No, no, no!
Yes, yes, yes! It's turning into a JoJo episode. Hello, bound prisoner. Have y'all heard of the High Elves? Well, you're gonna. You've heard of the High Elves, but have you heard of the High Elves? The Hashish Elves? The elves who invented sandals and making clothing out of hemp? The elves who get that good? Yeah. Yeah, these elves are special. They got that evergreen long bottom leaf, if you catch my drift. Yeah. They whittled the pipes out of the old oak wood. But their pipes are a little bit bigger than most people's pipes. You catch my drift, Gandalf. You see you hanging out with those hobbits. Those hobbits know about your hobbies, your pastimes, your consumption of the stickiest, of the elven ickiest. Alright, these guys are dead. Let's get out of here. Almost there. Stop pulling back. Stop holding me back. These dang ghosts are bucket crabs. Ah, oh. If you're a ghost made of blood, you immediately have to suction cup to the back of sorcerers. I forgot about that. I forgot about that rule of thumb. I'm a ghost made out of blood. That means I have to inconvenience you all the time. Dang. More like bad blood ghost, am I right? Oh my god, Propius Pro MLG, like, comment, subscribe. Alright, they're dead. Let's look at the numbers. I see a little bit of blue down there. That's good, right? We managed to get 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 plus a, what's it called? Forgotten wisdom. So 12 in total. Not that great. I could have done it faster, but I was distracted. I was talking again. Got pretty good though. About, we were 16 million away from leveling up. Oh, very good run though. 31 million. That was way better than I thought I was gonna do. I was gonna be like, man, I'm probably gonna do like 23 million because I'll be distracted. But nah, 31 million XP. and I was distracted and not even going as fast as I could have. If I went full blast with her and actually teleported more often than I should have been teleporting more often and actually running it and slamming down on them. But I was trying to talk and like give you all the details of my dream. I probably could have done 1 or 2 more, maybe. Maybe gone for 35 million XP, maybe, if I was really pushing it. But honestly, that's not bad. That's good. It's a work in progress. On our way to 283. It looks like this run's actually made it to the 500 million mark. We have finally made it to 500 million of XP needed to level up, which should be a problem. Like I said, it's been increasing about 20 million or so every level, which is like 15 minutes to 20 minutes longer than the previous level, you know? If I just run Decima through 5 dungeons, I get that much XP. So, and Decima takes anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes per dungeon, depending on which dungeon. So it's like, it can be 15 minutes, could be 30 minutes, but she can get that much XP that fast, so it's not a big deal. So that hopefully, we are getting to the point now to where it's taking me a little bit longer each time. So, like I grind for 6 hours one day, then 4 hours another day, and then I need to do, like, for today, for example, because I did so little yesterday and the day before, I spaced it out more. Today I had to do an entire hour before I even started streaming, just to get me like right there before I was about to level up. And I think that was a run with Decima, about 40 million. So it's getting to that point now where it might be a 3-day adventure, or it's starting to feel like it. It might be 3 days between each stream. But we're definitely gonna make it though. That's the important bit. Anywho. Actually, no, let's not leave it right here. Let's talk about the things I was talking about. Let's just look at this. Let's just take a look at it. Let's just take a quick look at it. A little look-see. I forgot because, alright. Real quick, I want to look at this. This is actually for me. I didn't talk about this except for right there at the end. Because the way damage is stacking up with him, he's doing some mean damage. But like I said, his Incinerate now, like, we have that enchantment. That's 2. 3 enchantments. 3 enchantments are all dedicated just to Incinerate. Granted, most of them, since they are Incinerate based, like that one's all Incinerate. But this one actually increases your burning damage just while Incinerate's going off, so it's your burning damage in total, so all your fire spells burning damage goes up by 40%. The enemies damaged by Incinerate explode for an additional damage. This one is just Incinerate as well. That just does something for Incinerate. So there's 2 out of 3 that all they do is something for Incinerate. This is the only one that does something with Incinerate, but then also adds a little bit for something, the other fire spells, while Incinerate's going off. So that is 3 spells. 3 aspects, I should say. I call them spells, sorry. I have a problem with using proper nouns sometimes when I talk about stuff like this. I just start calling them whatevers. I think it's an old man thing. 3 Kukajubs in the proper slots. Do the magics. See?
Help, please.
No, look at this damage. To activate this guy. Talk to him. Come on. Show me your ghost that's trying to steal your New Year's festivals. They're actually living a second longer. Like, notice they eat this compared to Alicia. These guys actually catch on fire before they just explode. So that means Alicia, even though her damage don't look like, some of her numbers look very similar to his, she's actually killing them faster. We'll activate artillery now. We got the free whiplashes, we got the fires. I changed it up to where now he has the hydras. Just because, there was something about the fire and movement and having to stop to use Incinerate I didn't like with him. I was trying to get his cooldown even further, because His teleport is like 3 seconds. At least it should be. Yeah. I swear Alicia's teleport used to be 3 seconds too, but now it's not for some reason. But let's just look at this. Alright. Critical strike chance, 50% about, then it goes up to 70% when they're injured. We got that equipped. So you can take critical strike chance damage happening every now and then, helping you with a 600% boost. Vulnerability is already 500%, that's not even the main focus. Damage with fire, almost 900%. Damage with pyromancy, because that's different than fire for some reason. That's 12%. Damage versus burning, so that means an enemy that's already burning, you do 150% more damage. So that means like, if you just have fire, you set them on fire, right? The initial damage is about increase. Like Incinerate's initial damage is going to be the 850% plus the 250. So 900,000, 1,100 damage. At least it should be. Then after they've been burning for just like half a second, it goes up another 150%. So that should be around the 1,250% mark, right? But it doesn't feel like that. At least it only has like a 50% bonus to burning, but like, they get killed so much faster. So I'm wondering, and maybe because vulnerability is instant, you don't have to wait for a second for them to start burning to get the burning damage bonus. You know what I mean? Vulnerability is going off instantly. They're getting that big boost. It's happening right at the beginning. I like having him fast for his arc lashes, but I wonder if switching him to a staff so that the split ability, this one, instead of lowering the damage, like make it like Alicia's to where it actually increases the damage. Because that's why it's like each beam only does 85% of its base damage. It goes down because it's getting split. But since I put it on Alicia's staff, it gets multiplied by like times and a half. So then you end up doing
You saved my life.
more damage when you split. I don't know, I kind of want to experiment with that. Because he already has vulnerability going off. It's just his vulnerability damage is super low compared to Alicia's because he's not invested in it. I mean, that's pretty much half of what she's doing. That's still pretty high. Hold on, let's actually look down here. His critical strike chance is only 90%. Who had 100%? Someone had 100%. His vulnerability is also 100% though. Just from like his setup, because he's got Fist of Fate, and it's either his amulet or a ring. Yeah, it's the amulet. There it is. And then also the dagger has it too. Yeah. All these come together. So he's already making them vulnerable. But I'm wondering if what did we have last? Burning Instinct for the burning damage. 90%. If I change this one to Frigid Fate, because Frigid Fate has at least another 50% to 100% more vulnerability damage. First thing I should try out is replacing both of these with sapphires. Because that'll increase his vulnerability damage by 108%. Then we can decide if that's the direction we want to go. Alright, what was the other thing I was going to look at? Oh! Yeah, let's look at Novisa just real quick. I really want to look at Decima though. But Novisa, he's doing all right. I kind of miss the wolves. I think I've already come to the conclusion that once I go back to triple wolves, that'll actually be better for harder difficulties. Just because there'll be distractions, they'll be dashing out rabies, because right now rabies by itself, having it equipped, it just one-shots too many things. You have to put on something that's tough enough to survive. Right now I have poison creepers and I have 2 poison creepers, and I found out that having the 2 poison creepers actually makes it to where you do not get 2 charges of the poison creep. You still just get the 1 charge. Which sucks, because I want the 2 charges. I get the 1. I got the poisons. What I'm thinking with him is I got the howl. I got the big howl, right? And I got hurricane. And I got poison creeper. And I got rabies. I got too many cooldowns with him. I'm thinking with him what I might do. Even though I think this build would be pretty good for hard difficulties, I might change it to where he's actually just casting spells instead. Because I know I found the interesting enchantments to make those all count as, like, not hurricane in particular, but the roar counts as a wolf spell now. And that's pretty cool because now it increases damage for a little bit. I think it's all your damage too, so you combined it with hurricane, and now hurricane's damage is going up while all your damages are up, and you just sort of slash around. You just sort of mash around while doing both, you know? But maybe I'll keep hurricane, but at the same time, I might turn the companion off. Maybe even turn off rabies, because right now it's really powerful, but it's too powerful to where it doesn't even work properly. Because before you'd bite something and it would spread, but now I bite something. Now there it goes, there it spreads. But as you can see, like sometimes it just kills them instantly without spreading. Bite. It used to be to where if there was an army of guys, I could bite one of them and it would just spread out and wipe them all out. And now it kind of does it, but then sometimes it just stops because it kills things too fast. Don't get me wrong, I love the rabies. I love it. Not in real life, but you can't even tell because those ghosts, I'm pretty sure those ghosts just died to the something coming off of me. I think they're dying. I can't tell because I think they're also being killed by my poison creepers. I got 2 of them. And they're just sort of, I got the lightning strikes and the poison creepers just biting them, you know? Where's the friend of the friendless? Wasn't there a tough guy over here? No? Whatever. I'm just thinking about Novisa, man. I'm just thinking about him. I like him, but there's got to be a better way to kill things quickly and not just have spells that are just sitting there, you know what I mean? Like, excuse me. Hurricane and the roar work fine, but they're not necessary, and also they're on cooldown. I can't just spam them out, because I noticed, because the way Shred's set up, I have a lot of spirit just sort of left over, just sort of hanging out, not doing anything, and I could be using that spirit to do something else. There's another one, if there's another ability that's an area of effect, I'd rather be doing that, you know? Just dropping something, similar to Blizzard, to where it's like damage over time over an area. With Decima, something I discovered, I found very interesting, I didn't think about it. I felt so stupid when I discovered this, like, literally yesterday, I discovered this. Now, you remember Orsavane? For each defensive skill now in your action bar, you deal increased damage and gain its associated enchantment effect. And I liked having teleport as a get out of jail free card. And I didn't want its enchantment effect because it would make it evade turn into a 5-second cooldown that cannot be reduced, even though it's a tiny teleport. But I forget that that cooldown also gets affected by cooldown reduction, so now it's only 4 seconds. So what I did was I just unequipped teleport, and I forgot that, like, about Ursavene's second ability. And that's when I realized I could have teleport not equipped at all, and now I have no defensive skill equipped. So now this damage multiplier, that 32% is actually getting multiplied by 4. And also my evade is now that. I have the tiny teleport. And it comes back every 4 seconds. And now I don't get the speed punishment. I don't lose my speed for doing it. So now I have this mini get out of jail free card for free. And I don't get punished for when I use it. So I have actually increased Decima's speed a little bit. And just the other day I managed to get like 17 dungeons in an hour done, beating my previous record. They were regular dungeons though, not nightmare, so I think I only made like 41 million XP, but still.
Bless you.
But now with me unequipping teleport, I had points left over to now I can actually run an ultimate again after all this time. I can run unstable currents and just blast extra free spells even faster. Not that I ever need to. I do it every now and then if there's like a wave fight. If there's a wave function, then I can kill the enemies even faster and get them to spawn faster, and therefore for a little while get more XP even faster. So, and it was kind of awesome. I was like, you know what? It's been a long time. We actually set up make Decima just by accident from me going, you know what? How would it feel to unequip teleport? Like, I wasn't even thinking about it. It was only after I unequipped teleport that I realized that the cooldown reduction actually did affect my evade, to where now you just have that little one for 4 seconds, and also the negative effect, this thing, it doesn't go off. I keep my 90% movement speed because that doesn't count as me casting a defensive spell. That counts as me dashing. That tiny teleport does not count. So I was like, well, that's ridiculous. So now I got faster for free, and I have another spell that I can actually use every now and then, while teleport on Decima was actually playing very defensively with it, not even using it, because I knew I'd have to use it only when I absolutely needed it, because then I would lose all my movement speed for like 10 seconds. And whatever I just escaped, now I'm just walking away from it, basically, to a snail's pace. But now, I completely didn't think about it. Did not think about Ursavene's second ability, to where now I have the secondary tiny teleport that does the same thing. That comes back just as fast. That does not give me a speed punishment after I use it. So now Decima's not only doing more damage, she's also a little bit faster now. And I didn't even think about that. That was all I had to do is move my spells around. But you know what? Actually, let's leave this one right here, because now we just leveled up, so we gotta hit a few hours a day of just grinding. Hitting the big leagues, getting the big XPs. And I'll leave you guys to it. Hopefully I'll be back in 2 days again. Get this 500,000 XP. What day is today? Saturday, right? Or Sunday? I don't know. Let me check real quick. You lose track sometimes. It's Sunday. So maybe, hopefully, I'll be back Tuesday. Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll find out. But thank you all. Thank you all for coming out today. Thank you all future people who come back to watch these old episodes. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hit that like button. Keep on posting. Hopefully you all enjoyed. See you in the next one. Y'all take it easy.